Saving money sounds simple in theory, but in real life, it can feel like swimming against your own instincts. Have you ever promised yourself that this month would be different? This month, you would finally start saving money. You'd skip the unnecessary purchases, you'd avoid impulse spending, you'd build that emergency fund you keep thinking about. For a few days, maybe even a week, you do pretty well. You make coffee at home, you cook instead of ordering takeout, you avoid browsing online stores. Then something happens, a stressful day at work, a sale you didn't expect, a quick purchase that feels harmless, and suddenly the saving plan disappears. If this sounds familiar, you're not bad with money. Your brain is simply doing exactly what it evolved to do. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll understand why saving money feels so difficult and how one small change can make it dramatically easier. First, we need to talk about something called present bias. Present bias is a psychological tendency where people prefer rewards today instead of larger rewards in the future. For example, imagine someone offers you two options, $50 today or $80 next month. Many people would still choose the $50 today, not because it's better, but because it's immediate. Your brain loves immediate rewards. It releases dopamine, the chemical responsible for pleasure and motivation. This is why buying something right now feels satisfying. You experience a small emotional boost. Saving money, on the other hand, doesn't trigger the same response. When you move money into savings, nothing exciting happens immediately. You don't receive a reward. You simply see a slightly larger number in your account. And that number is connected to a future version of yourself, a version that feels abstract, distant, almost like a stranger. This creates a psychological conflict. Your brain prioritizes the present, but saving money prioritizes the future. And this tension is why saving often feels like sacrifice. Now, here's the interesting part. Once your savings reach a certain level, something changes. Your brain starts associating that growing balance with security. Instead of seeing savings as something you're giving up, you start seeing it as something you're gaining: confidence, protection, freedom. Suddenly, saving money produces a new emotional reward: progress. But most people never reach that stage. They quit too early because the beginning is the hardest part. So how do you make the beginning easier? You remove the decision. Saving becomes easier when it's automatic, when money moves into savings before you have a chance to spend it. Imagine two situations. In the first situation, your paycheck arrives in your checking account. You see the full amount. Your brain immediately begins allocating it: rent, groceries, entertainment, maybe something you've been wanting to buy. At the end of the month, you try to save whatever remains, but often nothing remains. In the second situation, something different happens. The moment your paycheck arrives, 10% automatically moves into savings. You never see that money in your spending account. Your lifestyle simply adjusts around the remaining balance. This small difference changes everything because it removes the psychological battle between spending and saving. The decision is already made. Automation is powerful because it bypasses willpower, and willpower is unreliable. Some days you feel disciplined, other days you're tired, stressed, or distracted. Systems outperform motivation every time. Think about it this way. If you had to manually decide to brush your teeth every single morning, eventually you'd skip a day. But because it's automatic, you do it without thinking. The same principle applies to saving. When saving becomes a default, not a daily negotiation, your brain stops treating it as a sacrifice. This is why many wealthy people automate nearly every part of their finances: savings, investments, retirement contributions, bills. Their financial progress doesn't depend on daily discipline. It depends on systems that operate consistently. And here's something encouraging. Once automation is in place, most people don't even miss the money they're saving. Studies in behavioral economics show that humans adapt quickly to new baselines. If your spending account receives 10% less than your full paycheck, your lifestyle will adjust within a few months. But if you try to save manually at the end of each month, you're fighting against your own psychology every single time. Now let's talk about another reason saving money feels difficult. Lack of visible progress. When someone tries to lose weight, they eventually see physical changes. When someone practices a skill, they notice improvement. But financial progress often feels invisible. If you save $200 per month, after 3 months you have $600. That doesn't feel dramatic. After a year, you have $2,400. Still not life-changing? Because compounding hasn't started doing much yet. At the beginning, your contributions create almost all the growth. But eventually something interesting happens. Your money begins contributing to its own growth, interest appears, investment returns accumulate, and suddenly your balance begins increasing faster. This is why the first few $1,000s are the hardest. Once savings momentum builds, motivation increases. You start checking your account and feeling proud instead of stressed. That emotional shift is powerful because once saving feels rewarding, behavior becomes easier. You can accelerate that emotional shift by focusing on what you can see. Instead of thinking, I saved $200 this month, track the progress visually. Use a simple spreadsheet, a savings app, or even a piece of paper on your wall. When you see the line moving upward month after month, your brain registers that progress as a reward, and rewards drive repetition. Now, let's talk about a practical way to accelerate this shift. Create milestones. Instead of thinking about saving indefinitely, focus on specific goals. Your first $500, your first $1,000, your first $5,000. Each milestone creates motivation. Each milestone proves that progress is happening, and each milestone makes the next one easier. When you hit a milestone, acknowledge it. You don't have to spend money to celebrate. Just pause and recognize what you've accomplished. That small act of acknowledgement signals to your brain that this behavior matters. It reinforces the habit. There's also another psychological trick that helps. Name your savings. Instead of calling it savings, give it a purpose. Emergency fund, travel fund, freedom fund, future home fund. When money has a purpose, your brain treats it differently. It becomes meaningful, and meaningful money is harder to spend impulsively. Let's say you have an account labeled New York Trip. When you're tempted to dip into it for takeout or a late night online purchase, you pause. You think, do I really want to trade that trip for this? That pause is often enough to stop impulse spending. Purpose also makes the act of saving feel less abstract. Instead of depriving yourself, you're actively funding something you care about. The emotional shift is subtle but powerful. Now, let's talk about something many people overlook. Saving money isn't about eliminating enjoyment. It's about prioritizing future freedom over temporary comfort. You don't need to eliminate every small pleasure. You simply need balance. Spend intentionally. Save consistently. Invest regularly. Because the goal of saving isn't just accumulating money. The goal is reducing financial stress and increasing options. When you have savings, unexpected problems stop feeling like disasters. A car repair becomes manageable, a medical expense becomes solvable, a job change becomes possible. Savings buy breathing room. Breathing room creates confidence. Confidence leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to wealth, all from a habit that once felt difficult. Saving money doesn't become easier because people become more disciplined. It becomes easier because systems remove the struggle. Automate savings, create milestones, give your money purpose, and allow time to reinforce the habit. Eventually, something surprising happens. Saving stops feeling like deprivation. It starts feeling like progress. And progress is one of the most motivating forces in human behavior. Once you experience that momentum, saving money no longer feels difficult. It feels inevitable. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Pick one system to set up this week. Maybe it's an automatic transfer that happens the day after payday. Maybe it's naming your savings account with a goal that matters to you. Maybe it's writing down your first milestone on a sticky note and putting it somewhere you'll see every day. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start, because the beginning is the hardest part. But once you make saving automatic, visible, and purposeful, your brain will stop fighting you and start working for you. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.